Ba-da-ba-bum, ba-da-ba-bum. I got him, you got him, we got him. Comic issues, yeah!
Hey guys, it's Sunday. I just woke up and it's time for another episode of Comic Issues, the show where I collect them and you select them. Here's the numbers for this week. Just take a box number, or a letter and a number that's not in the parentheses. Put it down below. We'll put it on the wheel, have a spin, do a mystery reveal, review the comic. So, without further ado, let's get to it, guys. Let's spin this wheel. We got 3 entries. We had 4 entries, but one was not in the list. EK did Z93, and Z93 is not a box yet, but it will be. So, yeah. We're just going to take that one off the wheel. So we got 3 entries this week. So let's go ahead and spin this wheel, guys. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, blast off! What we got here? T13. T13 wins it. That probably is a Terminator 13 by now. There's been so many freaking movies of that. But let's get this comic out, guys, and see what it is. Be right back with you. Got the comic. It's right here in all of its glory. Let's pull this thing out and see what it is, guys. 3, 2, 1. X'd. Black Mask X'd number 1. So Black Mask is a like a real independent publisher. I think they've done like The Little Girl and Breathless and some other stuff like that. The guy's pretty cool that writes all these things. I met him at a con once. I've never really read their comics. I always buy them at the con just because I like to support, you know, the little guys. So I buy everything on their table usually and get it signed and just, you know, have a chat with them. They're real easy to talk to, and they really like to talk about their work. But anyways, let's get into the comic, guys, and get it reviewed. Be right back. Hey guys, we're at 88 subs right now. At 100, I'm going to do a giveaway like everybody does, right? So we'll after we get 100 subs, we'll do a video. We'll do comments down below to get you entered for the prize. Can't tell you what the prize is going to be yet because it's going to be a box centered at the winner, right? Unless it's somebody overseas, outside of the U.S., just because I was looking at shipping for outside of the U.S. and all the stuff you have to go through. And to send a box outside of the U.S., guys, is like $60-something minimum. And it takes weeks to get there. I don't want to deal with that. So if you're outside of the U.S., we'll send you some kind of PayPal or something like that, the price of the box. So, yeah, everybody's welcome to join. Hopefully you're a subscriber if you join. I don't have any way of really telling if you're not, so hopefully just be truthful. If you're a subscriber and you like the channel, sign up for the giveaway. If not, become a subscriber, and then, yeah. Hey guys, we're reviewing X number 1 by Black Mask. This was written by Tony Patrick. He's not really done anything else, like 12 issues. Batman the Signal, he did a couple issues of that. Ahan Hayrula is the artist. He done a pretty good job in this. I'm not sure why he doesn't do a lot of comics. I don't know if this is a brand new comic or not. But the only other thing he's done is like Fiendish Fables and Occupy Comics, and only 1 issue of those. So he's not. Neither one of these guys are prolific, but that surprises me because the art is pretty good in it. It's not like Grandioso or anything like that, but it gets the point across, and the writing is pretty good. I like the story pretty good. It's kind of been done a couple times, but it's pretty cool, you know. So anyways, let's get into it. We start at a hospital, and there's a guy wheelchairing down through the halls, right? And he stops and goes into this room, and there's a lady in there, and she's all hooked up to a mask and stuff. So he wheels up next to her, and he's got his hand on her hand. We're in, kind of like sadness here because the whole overwash is blue. And he's asking, "Are you in here?" And we go to a flashback already. Already a flashback, guys. It's amazing how often we have time-lapse comics in this when we do these reviews. But anyways, here we go. So we see a limousine going down the highway in a desert area, and there's just some people are talking, and he's talking about business and stuff like that, and you see this guy chained up here in the middle of the highway, and he's talking about money can't buy happiness, and the driver's like, what do you want me to do here? This guy's standing in the middle of the road. He's like, Marvin, do it. And the driver's, Marvin's the driver, and he's, oh man, but really? Like, yeah, butts don't pay your daughter's tuition. I do. So, wham! They hit the guy. Just go right through it, saying life is short. And here we see who he's talking to, a couple other business guys here. Money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you a yacht to pull up right next to it. So, this kind of looks like that Vince Vaughn movie. What's it called? Man, I can picture it right now. It's got Vince Vaughn in the middle, and it's got the two guys beside him. I'll post it here. Anyways, they're on their way to the zoo, right? The Park Zoo, right in the middle of nowhere here, and they pull in, and here you see some of the exhibits. You got the monkeys back here with these business type guys, right? So what's going on here is this guy runs this group of successful people, and when the successful people don't pan out and do their job like they're supposed to, or he finds other businesses where people are taking advantage of other people, like Ponzi schemes and stuff like that, he goes and wipes those people out. Really, he takes them and puts them in this zoo, which is a really cool idea. So here these guys are trying to get out of the monkey pen. There's a guy that's stuck in the snakes with the cobras, and then you have a guy that's being backed into a corner by a lion. I didn't show all that stuff, but here you see this main guy here for the rest of his life, right? Because they've kidnapped him. This happens to look like the guy who just got hit right there at the out in on the highway, right? So was it him? I don't know. I don't know if it was him or not. Let's back up a little bit and see. I think that was him, actually. Yeah, I think that's him. So they had that in yellow because I guess that's a memory of somebody else, right? So it's a blue washed in yellow to show that that's another memory. So at least they're kind of showing you things that are giving you hints that these are memories and not really what's going on. So it winds up, this is an older lady telling the story of her brother, and that's her brother hanging in the thing there. I think that's kind of what I get here, but she's saying that he's still being tortured, and that's her little brother. And so I don't know if she knows that the guy got hit or not, but maybe not. So anyways, what she's asking for is she's asked them to release the guy, and they won't do it. So she's asking for her memories to be wiped, right? So she doesn't want to have any more embarrassment than what's came from this guy, her brother, doing all this stuff, and all the news coverage and everything. And she's rich, and it's putting a hurting on her mentally. So this company that she's requesting, they agree. They're like, it's only 90% available, or 90% effective. So we can try it, but you might not like the results. She's like, that's okay. I'd pay any amount of money. I just want to get this memory out of my brother out of my head. Guy busts in. He's like, Thursday at 5 o'clock, ma'am. We have an opening. She's like, done. So she shows up at Thursday at 5 o'clock. She's getting put into these like little pod things. There's a guy beside her. I guess that guy is going to help her through, right? He's going to go in there and get rid of that memory. So I think It's kind of like an Inception kind of deal going on. I never really finished that movie because it was just way too out there. So then we go in, and it shows all these brain synapses, and this bad looking dude is walking through on her little synapses, the nerve endings and stuff, and he's going into her mind, and then we see what he sees inside the mind. This is my panel pick. This thing is awesome. It is a full page, but it's the best panel in the whole thing. So, to me, anyways. So the rest of the next couple pages are going over what we're seeing here. So this is the second guy that's helping her out. He's going into her mind, and this is her subconscious. So this is all the stuff that's going on in her mind, and he's trying to get to the bad memories, right? So he can wipe them out. So you see the fish on the door here. That's a fish out of water. You see the people swimming in the sky, and that's her fondest memory of when she was on a water polo team. And then you see time flying, and down here at the end you see a clock, and that's her ever impending doom. Like I said, that's the biggest thing that she's worrying about. Outside of her brothers, you know, that's always in the back of her mind, her time running out, because she's getting older, and we don't know how much time we have, right? So they're going through and telling all that about it, and while he's, you know, looking around, he's asking about these cactuses with knives on them, and before they can tell him what that is, these mind thugs show up, and they call them myths. So here they are. They're faceless. They got like little Pac-Man looking mazes on them, and they're like, you gotta run, you know, that's the only thing we can do against myths. You gotta run. It's like, it's too late for that now. He pulls out a knife, or he takes the knife out of the cactus, stabs the dude in the face. The guy and then he pulls it out, and here's what you see, just a gaping hole here. It looks pretty nasty. They don't have eye holes, but now he's got one, and it doesn't stop him. So he gets surrounded by, you know, a couple of three other of these guys, and they all start growing these long tentacle fingers, and they shoot him at him, but he ducks, and so they ended up getting all entangled and entwined. But that doesn't stop them. You know, they're the myths. So they ended up entangling him and pulling him up in the air, and you know, it looks like this guy is done for, right? He's done for, but he's not, because a horse starts galloping in, and you hear, get away from him, I demand you to get away from him. And you see here, this is the lady with a rifle here, and she's here to save him. She brought a horse. She's wanting him to get up on this horse, and we can ride away from these guys. And back at the lab, they're asking, you know, wait, don't go with her. We don't know what that is. We don't know if that's a self-preservation image. We don't know if this is a trick. But it turns out this is her, like, courageous side, here to help him, help through therapy and stuff. This has been molded to be very strong and be able to survive out here in this wasteland of her subconscious. So they start riding down the road, and they get to this big ball of anxiety, right? It's like a rubber band ball full of all these things that she's anxious about. So that's what they're trying to get to, right? They're trying to break that down and find that memory. But before they can do that, here comes, well, there's these chasms developing, you know, because her mind's brittle in this area. So they're having trouble negotiating those lines, because it just keeps crumbling as they get closer to it, because that wall is so strong. And here's her bullying. Her bullying shows up from her childhood as they get closer to the anxieties, because all the bad stuff starts happening now. And you see it's Catholic schoolgirls with rocket launchers. So they're calling her chicken legs, and they're shooting at her. And eventually all this chasm starts breaking up around them, and they're left on this floating little rock, right? So let me go back real quick. There was a door in that picture. In that picture, he was asking about opening the door, and that's the underbelly of her subconscious. That's the low depths. So they told him not to go in there. So that's important for right now. So they're on this platform, right? They shoot a rocket at the guy. the lady jumps down. She's like, "You're on your own, pal." And instead of the guy dying, he decides to jump down too with the horse. And that's never been done before. They don't know what's going to happen here because now he's going to the underside of her subconscious, her really deep depths, and nobody's supposed to go down there. And what happens at that point is the lab starts blowing up, right? And you're thinking, wow, it's got overloaded or something, right? So, but before they can address that, the lady starts dying. She goes into cardiac arrest, and it's because she has an underlying heart condition. It's nothing to do with, well, I guess it's to do with this, but this is not something that normally happens. So they're trying to wake her up because they need to get that guy back out of there, right? And they can't get her started. They're shocking her. There's still no pulse. But before we can see that, it goes to Thursday at 6 p.m. So I guess this coincides with what's happening right now, all this stuff blowing up. And it's these guys jumping out of a truck, and they're getting ready to rob a facility, right? So they're running in, their security guards telling him, "Hey, wait it up." He's like, "No, you wait." And he holds the phone up and he says, "Sherry, vanilla ice." And it freezes this guy's mind. So you're like, what? An app that does what the songs say they do? So he goes and he finally gets to the room that he's looking for. He opens the room and there's a guy sitting in there and he's like, "Sherry, stop, hammer time." And nothing happens. And the guy's like, "Maybe you didn't enunciate correctly. I'm detecting a slight lisp." And the guy's like, "Sherry, do it." And the man, he's like, "Why is that not working?" And the guy sitting there, cool as a cucumber, is like, "Because you're working on an app that I developed, and there's a back door. Verbal backdoor 43A TrueLock 15. Sherry, lobotomize." And it immediately lobotomizes the guy, takes him out. Boom, all the electric goes out. We're faced with a guy with a lighter, and he's trying to figure out where the backup generator is. So he goes and he turns the backup generator on, and as soon as the doors open, there's another one of those thieves telling him it's going to be the longest 6 minutes of his life. We go back to the main lab. They're thinking of ways to try to get him out of there. They can't think of anything. There's a pod that they can go into the mind with, but the pod not developed to go into the sublayer. And they're saying, well, we got to think of something, because if we don't, this guy's going to lose more than a leg. So it beams out, and this is the last picture of the comic, and you see the guy is attached, and he's got cuts all over him. He's lost his leg. And pretty much this guy does it because he doesn't like his current life. He likes being the Avatar so he can go in there and get money and do whatever. But I think this is the guy that we've seen wheeling down the road or down the hospital in the first of the comic. I give this a let me see, maybe a ghost. Yeah, let's give it a ghost. All right. You guys be good to yourselves. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.